We are following breaking news right now at the end of a pursuit that had just begun not too long ago.
Yeah, we're still waiting to get more information from our producer or anyone from the assignment desk. We have not heard much. Mark Liu is going to be covering this, but we do know this is somewhere in the Downey area. You can see the end of vehicle right there. Mark, what do you know about this right now? Because we don't know anything.
Yeah, okay, so SkyCal just got over here. I've got the details on this one. What you're looking at here is a black BMW 430i. This is on the southbound 5 at the Downey off-ramp. Now, LAPD apparently went into pursuit of that vehicle near Central and 8th Street near downtown LA just about 20 minutes ago. Now, they originally called the warrant on that vehicle was a Code 6 Charles warrant. That's basically a felony warrant. This vehicle had temporary plates. Unknown how many people were in that vehicle. The pursuit took them here on the southbound 5, where apparently that car spun out and collided with an LAPD officer. Now, shortly after that collision, we heard here at the desk on the scanners, shots fired, officer needs help. The suspect may have been struck. Apparently the suspect, one or more suspects, got out of that vehicle. There was a confrontation with LAPD officers, and they believe a suspect was hit, but it appears there's a suspect still inside that car. Now, it's unclear if that was the suspect who was shot by LAPD or if there is another one, because we did hear information that there was at least one suspect who was out of the car laying down near an open door. Now, it's difficult to tell with SkyCal right now if the passenger side door is open, but we did hear radio traffic indicating that there may have been someone that was down in the bushes on the passenger side of the car. That tracks with what we're seeing here. But it appears there is definitely still somebody inside of that car. Now, I don't want SkyCal to get too close, but it does appear there may be someone in the bushes there that may have been shot. So it's unclear the status of that person, but it looks like there is still someone in this black BMW 430i. Again, Chris and Amy, the only want that we heard so far was a Code 6 Charles vehicle. That's a pretty broad want. It essentially means wanted for some kind of a felony crime. We're also getting some information that it may have been possibly a stolen vehicle as well. But whatever is happening here at the scene, LAPD appears to be trying to take at least one person into custody there. As they have their guns drawn. It looks like the airbags deployed in this vehicle, and that person in the passenger side may be having their hands out, but they may be unable to comply or unwilling to comply. It's not clear at this time.
Yeah, we do see that hand outside of that car, and yes, the airbags were deployed. As for this officer, when you heard that, the shots were fired, that officer needs help, do we have any idea if an ambulance was called or how that officer is doing?
Yeah, so here's one bit of good news. One of the other things that we heard on the scanner, they do what's called a roll call whenever there is an officer-involved shooting. That essentially means all officers down there, please announce your status, whether or not you are injured or you need help. The response to that roll call was all officers accounted for, which essentially means there are no officers apparently that need any medical attention. That is one bit of good news.
Yes.
There is an ambulance, though, that has staged very close to this location. What that essentially means is they are on standby and ready to enter to provide medical assistance to whoever needs it when the scene is safe. Unfortunately, the LAPD has definitely not declared this scene safe yet. As you can see, there is a suspect in that car, in the passenger seat there, that it appears they have their hands up. It's unclear. 2 hands out of the window. That's what LAPD wants to see, but it's not clear. You can see there is some pretty substantial damage to that car. The airbags went off. The glass is broken. It appears possibly that, well, this person is moving in there. We just saw one hand go back into the car. So they are at least conscious enough to move their arms. But it's not clear what the status is down there, if they're refusing to comply with orders to get out, or perhaps they can't get out because of damage to that car and that door. That would make things much more difficult for LAPD, which means they're going to have to go in there and get that person, possibly with the help of firefighters. So it's a very tense situation right here. And there is also the possibility that there may be another suspect somewhere down at this scene that may have been struck by gunfire, and LAPD cannot render assistance to that person until this suspect is taken into custody.
Well, Mark, you've got the crashed vehicle, but it also looks like there are bullet holes in that car, so it's unclear at this time what has happened to the suspects in that vehicle, whether there is just one or two. Now, when SkyCal was around the front, I was trying to look in at the driver's seat. It looks like there's some type of white material, but I can't tell if there's somebody sitting in that car or perhaps that driver has moved over to the passenger side.
Yeah, we don't know. We did hear some radio traffic. Two important pieces of information. One, LAPD was not sure how many people were in this car. And two, at least one person at one point did get out of the car and was laying down next to the vehicle. So it's unclear if it's the person that's in that passenger side or perhaps it was someone from the driver's side and they have since moved into the bushes or not. We did hear some radio traffic indicating that there was possibly someone in the bushes, but we don't know what their status is right now. But right now, LAPD sort of unclear if this is a standoff or perhaps this person cannot comply or is refusing to comply to get out of the vehicle. But LAPD considers this person dangerous because of their participation in this pursuit. This was a pretty intense pursuit. It was short, only lasted about 10 to 15 minutes. And again, the want on that vehicle was something called Code 6 Charles. That's basically means a felony want of some kind. And we're trying to get the assignment editors in the newsroom are trying to get some more information from LAPD about exactly what that want actually was. We know that it started near 7th and Central in the downtown LA and then ended up on the 5 freeway and ended here on the southbound 5 at Downey.
Yeah, Mark, and I also think it's really important to note really fast, obviously this is a residential neighborhood. You can actually text the desk because if you're in this area and you saw something, let them know what number they could text and it goes straight to you to get more information out to us.
Yeah, that's exactly right. The number that you can use to text us here is 818-221-2222. You can send us information, or if you have pictures or video, you can text it to that number. Of course, we don't want anyone to get put themselves into this crime scene. You obey the laws and obey the directions of LAPD officers here. But there are probably lots of motorists that saw this on the freeway. And of course, as you said, this is a residential community right there at the off-ramp. So there is probably going to be a lot of activity on the outskirts of this perimeter. And so if you have any information or if you see something down there, text it to us at 818-221-2222. But you can see as SkyCal makes this orbit around this crashed BMW, you can see there is still at least one person in there with one arm out. LAPD taking this very seriously. Definitely giving this person commands, and they like to see the hands out the window. That's something that they want to see. It doesn't mean that means that person is not reaching for a weapon of any kind, but they're still it's possible they may be unable to get out of that car.
All right, Mark, thank you. Of course, we're going to stay on top of this and bring you updates as we get them.